That's Steinmetz Darrell, the Guru Johnson, and it's time for the executive show. And this week it's Zaza Pachulia. And Zaza, we like to, open up usually with something maybe non-basketball related. So I am going to ask you to talk to me about this big poker tournament that happened over the AllStar break, in which money was donated to the Warriors Community Foundation. Apparently all the players played in it. You raised over $3 million. But how much did you win?
That's definitely I was not expecting for the question. But it's fun because honestly, this is my favorite event I ever done with any NBA team. And I love, all the teams I played for. And I love all the communities that I interacted with. But this is the favorite event that I've experienced, the poker tournament the Warriors does annually. And, I believe we was a record that we broke over $3 million that we raised that's going to go to amazing causes. And, Nicole Lacob and her whole team is doing a phenomenal job, to make these things happen. And it's just great to be part of it. To answer your question, I don't know what you mean with the win, but I think we all win because I know the money we raise going to make the difference in our community and, so many amazing nonprofits that we work with, the Warriors Foundation is working with, and bottom line, we all win because, doing something positive for our community, for this city and the people we interact with, and as far as they, getting something out of it, we all win. So that's what matters the most.
Zaza, everybody, was in euphoria last year, and rightfully so. The Warriors win the chip. And right now, Zaza, at the break, they're 29-29. What would Zaza tell Dub Nation? What would you give them to lean on to be confident that this team can get it together and try to go or get as close to back-to-back as possible?
Right, I remember when we won the back-to-back, first year in 2017. If you guys remember playoffs, it was 16-1 record that we won the championship. And obviously next year we had the same team, maybe one or two players changed, and it was not 16-1, it was 16 and more than one losses that we got throughout the playoffs, right? But to win is very hard. It's very hard, and I think I already feel fortunate to be even mentioning and discussing about back-to-back championships, hopefully again, for this amazing franchise, so it's already a positive sign. Looking at so many teams not even having this conversation, fans not even thinking about playing in, April, May, and June. We've been already been fortunate to be experiencing and, now in the Chase Center last year, we got to celebrate, right? So we have a chance. We have a good chance, but at the same time, it's going to take a lot of work, some luck as well, and most importantly, a lot of healthy bodies. So we need healthy players for us to make this happen.
Zaza Pachulia joining us on 95.7 The Game. It is the executive show. The ratings for the AllStar game, they were the lowest of all time. Zaza, how are we going to fix the AllStar game? What you got any ideas, buddy?
That really concerns me, honestly. That really upset me as well because I love this game, and I've been fortunate to be part of this NBA family that we call it, for more than almost 2 decades, right? And maybe it's a 2 decade right now. And I'm grateful for that. So it really worries me when I read the stories like that. The ratings are lowest as ever. I think everybody can definitely help this cause, and everybody has to commit. Most importantly, I think it starts with the players. Obviously they deserve to be there, right? They deserve to be called All-Stars, but at the same time, it's a commitment, and for them to. And I'm pretty sure they see all this news and all these updates, that we see on the internet, right? So I think it's more care coming from the players to take it more seriously. And when I say me taking it seriously, dunks are fun, but nothing better than competition. And the fans, that's what fans wants to see, I believe. And there's no exact answer what should be done, but I think everyone should do their job a better way. And obviously, me as a former player, I would just love to see players, taking more seriously and focusing on competition more than just a show. Because I believe those best players that are gonna be out there, if they compete, shows is just gonna happen itself, right? So. And plus, on Adams, the Adam Silver's comments that I listened during the AllStar weekend, that it's all-time high when it comes to the season, the tickets sold, the ticket revenues, and renewals, ticket season renewals. So, it's obvious the fans want to see the competitive basketball out there, right? Numbers, they're definitely backing up. But when it comes to the AllStar, I think it's a little more show, and, people want to see more competitive basketball.
Zaza, I need your help. My partner and I, speaking of gambling, we got a bet. I got the Warriors going back-to-back. He has the field. And I got to be honest, Zaza, I'm a little nervous right now, and I know this is go time, but you know what it takes to play in this league, longevity. Talk to me about Andre Iguodala. He's my wild card, but can you speak to Dub Nation, Zaza, on – is it really realistic for me to expect him to come back and have an impact?
Well, it's a good question. First of all, it's very difficult to be in that age and have all those miles and wear and tear, and still play whole season, right? But if somebody understands and loves this game and wants to be out there, it's Andre. And I'll be fortunate to know this guy for on and off the court for years now. And see him in the gym, coming early, leaving late, working on his body, his health. I assure you guys that he's trying his best, and he's doing his best to help his team, because he understands how important, how valuable he is. And he's been, from him to winning the MVP, obviously in 2015 finals, and every single year. We won because of Andre, because of what he brings for this team in the locker room, on the court, and hopefully to see him. But it's tough when you're that old, for the basketball. Obviously, I'm talking about he's a young man, just general, but for this game to be that age and to play whole season, it's very, very difficult. It's some extent we had this expectation for him not to be able to play a whole season, but here we are. It's only 24 games left, and hoping to see him back on the court sooner the better. Obviously, because we're not in a situation to have the luxury of resting the players or and not having the guy. We're already dealing with some injuries with obviously Steph and GP2, and sooner we're gonna get those players, the better it is for us, and because the clock is definitely winding down, but. Andre knows it, and we're just hopeful to see him back.
Zaza Pachulia joining us on 95.7 The Game, and all guests appear via the Bud Light guest line. Every year in the NBA, guys have decisions to make on free agency, and Bob Myers doesn't have a contract yet for next year. Draymond Green has an opt-out. I'm not asking you what do you think they're going to do, but what I am curious about is, because it happens all the time, is that something that your teammates ask you about, or stuff like that? Do they just say, that's his business, I don't worry about it? Or you check in with Dre, hey, how you feeling about stuff? Is it? Do you guys consider that kind of a private thing, or do you check in on guys when their future might be uncertain?
That's a really good question, guys, because here's my idea about it, right? It's kind of selfish to talk about yourself or your future while you are in the season. And while you not necessarily have margins of errors, right? And every game matters, every win matters for us. And we've just been talking for like 10 minutes. We've been talking about back-to-back and what it takes to win, and, the guys that we're missing, and Andres and Steph's injuries, and, GP's absence, obviously. So I think this is the most important thing right now. And about what Bob and Draymond approach. They definitely understand it as their more personal side, but we should always put the team first. And because there's millions of followers, the millions of the fans throughout the world the Warriors has, and I think we open another amazing and unforgettable season, hoping that we're gonna make playoffs, hoping we're gonna have a deep run, hoping that we're gonna play the finals and win another championship for this franchise and for our fans. I think that's what matters the most. Rest is just, like I say, of course for them it's important, but I'm pretty sure they feel the same way, because even if you have to leave, and I'm not talking about necessarily about Bob or Draymond go to the different team, there's nothing better than leave any franchise as a champion. And I experienced that. And when I left Warriors, after winning the back-to-back and went to play for Detroit Pistons, there's nothing better feeling, right? And for the confidence and with everything else. Yes, 4 championships sounds amazing for both guys' resumes, but what's wrong with having 5 championships? So I think that's the most important thing, and I'm just gonna stay with that and focusing on about this year, because, like I say, first of all, it's not easy to win, and second of all, right now we need everything is possible and everything that's necessarily for us to fix this. How are we gonna get out from this, 500? The standards we have, right? So how we can get better, right? How we can put the wins in a row. I mean, that's the most important thing, So I would love to, focus on that more.
Zaza, you mentioned you being a champion, and you know what it takes. Phoenix got KD. We know they improved. Kyrie went to Dallas. The Clippers made some moves. Enhancements everywhere you look. I always tell my partner and the listeners every day, the Warriors got that pedigree. Steph, Clay, Dre, Iggy, they've done it before. Can you speak to how important that actually is? Like, when it is go time, and I know it is as soon as they tip off tomorrow in L.A., but how important is that, Zaza, that pedigree that guys like me speak of that the Warriors have?
Yeah, we saw obviously there was a lot of movement, and there was change. I think I believe that what I read and saw as a stat is 10% of the players, changed the team, right, and got moved before the trade deadline. And you saw some teams got better. You saw some teams just focusing on off season and just giving the chance for the younger guys to experience and to play, get more minutes. That has been part of the game for years and years now, and especially with the West, especially in the West, there are teams that made moves, and it's going to be interesting how it's going to end up. Obviously, change always might look good on the paper, it might not look good, but it's important to see how it's going to translate on the court, right, with the result, with wins and losses, right. So we're going to find out, within the next couple of weeks and months. And we made a small change, obviously. Well, not a small change, but it's big for us. Obviously, we, to letting number 2 pick and James Wiseman to walk away and getting into a GP2 in our situation. And it's a big move for us, right? And the whole thing is going to work. And last year GP2 was a very, very important part of our success and championship run, I believe. And especially seeing what the Western Conference and we might face in that particular position as a guard position, and GP2 going to be even more important this year, I believe. First of all, we just need to get him healthy. So it's going to be interesting how this thing's going to turn out. Like I say, it's February, right? So there's only 20 to 25 games left for the teams. Is it enough time for those teams to, find a chemistry and on and off the court, right? It's not like, we're in the preseason. It's only 20 to 25 games left. So now everything is on the table and we're all in. I think all the teams who are thinking about championship or deep run, they're all in. It's a matter of the efficiency now, how the team's going to benefit from these moves and changes.
Zaza, as always, we really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you guys in 2 weeks.
Yes, sir. That's Zaza Pachulia, and that was the Executive Show brought to you by Yellow Sack. Try a dumpster bag for easy waste removal, less mess, reduce stress, budget-friendly, clean freely. Call 833-3-YELLOW or go to yellowsack.com.